friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I hope you stay. And today we are going to talk everything vision boards. I have my vision board right here for 2025 on my iPad, and I'm just going to give a quick disclaimer and a bit of a background of all this. So with the disclaimer, if you feel like this video is going to make you feel like you're comparing yourself or maybe you're behind, first of all, you're not behind, but for mental health purposes, I am okay for you to close this video and I'll see you in my next one. But just for a teensy background, so with my family, right, specifically my father, I can't remember when we started doing resolutions, but it was a while ago. We would always do family resolutions, and then when I grew up to be able to plan my own resolutions, then we would do two resolutions, the family resolutions and my own resolutions, and I'll send them to my father. He would look at them and he would hold me accountable by end of year and be like, so what did you achieve? And what are your plans for next year and things like that. So a vision board to me is a visual representation of those resolutions. I still have the resolutions written down, but this time I just decided, you know what, let me just make a visual of that. So to me, that's what a vision board means to me. So for this year we had 9 resolutions, and I'm not going to go through all of them because I haven't achieved all of them, and for the ones that I have not been able to achieve, I'm just going to bump them into my next year's resolution. And to me, I'd rather talk about things when they have already happened rather than blab them out, because we are allowed to change and I don't want to feel the pressure, oh, I said I'm gonna do this and I don't do it now. So I'm just gonna talk about a few things that I've been able to achieve this year. So the first and foremost is I finished school and I graduated. I was so scared, guys, especially in my last semester. I thought I was not gonna make it because I was doing accounting, and accounting to me has never been my thing, but I was really scared, to be honest. And I remember for my last exam I didn't sleep. I studied the whole night. I was just studying, and then I remember it reached around 6 a.m. and I realized that I was studying all wrong, and I had to continue studying up to 4 p.m. No, not 4 p.m. I think like 2-ish. Then I just ended up sleeping. My body just couldn't do it anymore. But I'm so glad that I was able to finish and I graduated. That's a really big milestone, so I'm grateful for that. And obviously I'm grateful to God, because finishing school abroad is not easy. People would say, oh, you're abroad, blah 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 blah. It's not easy. The fees is expensive, the living expenses are expensive, there's a lot of distractions. So if you're not careful, you might not finish school. And it might not only be because of distractions, it can be because of things that you yourself cannot control. So I am very grateful for that. So after that, obviously the hunt came to look for a new job, and I got a job. It was a 2-day-a-week job. I would go to work. I was so excited because it was my first job. I have never been able to hold a job in Australia. I applied to so many places, and unfortunately I was not eligible for any of them. So when I got my first job, I was so excited, guys, so excited. And I went to work for 2 days a week, and now we have been promoted. We have a full-time job, and I'm so grateful, and I am so excited and so happy for what is going to happen in the years to come. So that's great. Anyway, so with getting a job, to be honest, one thing that my father taught me is that do not stop. Look for jobs, disturb people, talk to people, email them, call them. Like, you have to do all the work. Like, you can't just sit back and wait. You have to prepare. Post on LinkedIn, open your LinkedIn, go to places, go to meetings, go to conferences, just do everything you can. Jobs are out there, but you have to put the effort to get those jobs. You need to disturb people. I remember I would send an email today. 2 days, my father would be like, have you sent an email? And I'm like, I sent it 2 days ago. And he'll be like, send it again. You know, like things like that. So that's the only way out, especially with this difficult, job market and everything. that's the only thing I would recommend for you. So then after that, obviously we had to look for a place to stay. I was already staying in a place, but I was staying in a student accommodation. So obviously it was inevitable for me to move out because they were not even going to renew my contract. So I had to look for a place to stay. So as you can see, we are now in our new place and I really love it so much. So as I am running through these things, my vision board obviously was already planned that I finish school, I get a job, I get a place, I get, like things like that, then start being financially aware and things like that. So my achievements, some of them were inevitable to happen and some of them I had to then put them and align myself and push myself to them, because if I wasn't able to finish school, that means I couldn't move out. That means obviously I could renew my contract because, I'm still a student. So I wouldn't have been able to move out. I wouldn't have been able to get a new job. I would have had to renew my visa because my student visa finished in August. So, things like that. So yeah, maybe I'm talking too much, but anyway, so then we moved into our new place. I'm so happy. I love it so much. I moved in with one of my other friends, so it's a 2-bedroom apartment. And yeah, so in my vision board, obviously I wanted to finish school, get a job, move into my apartment, and here we are. And then came the financially, to be financially aware and financially aware and financially free, and start saving. And to be honest, I got a job mid of this year. It was 2 days a week, then towards the end of this year. So obviously I have been able to achieve, to me it's big things. I was able to open a savings account, be able to plan my own finances, to be like, oh, this money goes here, this money goes there. So obviously next year I'm planning to expand my financial knowledge, learn more about finances, and broaden myself to do those kind of things. And then another thing that's maybe not too related but related is my content creation. Now with my content creation, I love making content, but obviously as we change, as we evolve, things become more different. I used to be a baddie. I'm still a baddie, but unfortunately as you move into the corporate world, you have to and do things in a different way. So obviously content is still going to be there, but it's just going to be in a more structural, you get what I mean? But don't worry, I'm still doing my makeup videos. Anyway, so that means obviously I have to change the way I structure my routine. I used to do makeup every, I think, 2 days a week because I was available. But now because I'm not available, that means I'll have to do my videos on the weekend in bulk and then post them during the week. So if I'm busy during the weekend, that means I can't post, and then that's what's gonna happen. But we are going to try our best to still continue with our content creation because I love these things so much. But this year we got an iPad, and this iPad was a gift from my friends for my birthday. And I got this camera, the camera I'm recording on, I also got it with the help of my friend. It was not only me, guys. It was with the help of my friend as well. She helped me to buy this camera. I got a tripod. My tripods were broken. I got a birthday gift as a tripod. And I think the only thing I bought by myself is I invested in the lights, the proper lights, the newer lights. And I also got, obviously, the camera accessories and whatever. And I got a Rode mic. I'm not using that right now because I need a camera receiver or something. And when I manage that, then I'll start using the mic. But as you can see, you need a village, you need friends, you need people who support you. And this is going to push me to my next point. I had a resolution to support my friends and family, to build relationships with my friends and families. And to be honest, some of them didn't work out and some of them worked out really well. And I'm very grateful for that. And obviously this is a resolution that we are going to push for. And it has to continue, these kind of things, because friendships don't just end with I've done something small. You have to continue pushing yourself to do things. Even at your lowest, you need to continue showing up for people. And if you show up for people, obviously they will show up for you. And if they don't show up for you, then maybe you have to question yourself and see maybe this is not, I don't know. So that's just something you have to think about. So something else was the trip to Bali. I had put the trip to Bali in my vision board, but when I was putting that Bali trip in my vision board, we had already paid for the tickets. we had already planned, because we had been planning this trip for over a year. So I had already, like, we had already bought the tickets, so I knew it was inevitable to happen. But it was just that, obviously, to push yourself, to pray to God that everything goes well. There was a time, because our visas were about to finish, so people were scaring us, like, don't travel, the Australian government won't let you back in, you know, things like that. And we were like, you know what, let's just pray, let's have faith. The trip was almost cancelled, because now we were like kind of pushing back and be like, is the trip to Bali really worth it? But you know what, we prayed to God. And I remember, my friends have a lot of faith, guys. I need to work on my faith on God, but my friends have a lot of faith. They were like, we should go, God has helped us until here, we have paid for our tickets, I'm sure he won't let us down, and we have not done anything wrong, so there should not be a reason why the Australian government will be like, no, you can't come back in. But not only faith, we called them and asked them, like, is it okay for us to travel? And they're like, yeah, so long as your visa is, you know, not finished yet, then you can still go. So we went. So I think this is a lesson that sometimes when you want to do things, there'll be people who are trying to push you back. Well, you could listen to them, okay, because sometimes they're not always wrong, but you need to be careful, and also need to put your own discernment. Pray to God, ask people, the right people, because to us, we just heard like people saying blah blah blah, and then we called the Australian immigration system and they told us, you know what, you need to do 1 2 3. So yeah, just do things in the right way. Don't just listen and give up, because if I give you stories of how many times I've given up, yeah, it's not good, it's not pleasing. So yeah, I didn't expect that we'll travel this year with my family, but I'm very grateful that I was able to travel and see my family again this year. Yeah, something else which I think is something that we need to constantly work on is the relationship with God. Honestly, God, like, without God, I wouldn't have been here, I wouldn't have been recording this video, I wouldn't even be alive. But you know, God is great, God is wonderful, and I really hope, I think the relationship with God is always a struggle. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. So I don't really want to talk about that much, but all I know is that God is great, and I believe that I'll be able to work with my relationship with God, and I know God is seeing me, seeing our efforts and everything. So yeah, for the rest of the things, obviously I didn't accomplish everything. I don't know how many things I mentioned. There are some other things that I'd really love to accomplish, but I wasn't able to accomplish this year, and it's okay. We are going to push those things to next year. So as I am telling you all these things about my vision board, my resolutions, things I've achieved, I just mention them in a way that you see that some of these things were inevitable, some of these things were already in place, and some of these things, you know, you just needed to put them there so that you can actually look at them and be like, I actually need to work on this. So this is a reminder, don't compare yourself with people in the internet, and always you're allowed to repeat and, you know, do it again, push yourself, do it again. If you're not consistent, you can always try again. Even if it's not in January, you can start again in May, you can start again in September, you can start again in October. So yeah, this is all about my vision board. I don't really have much else to say. I am so excited for next year, and I hope that same time next year I'll be able to post the same kind of video, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe and, you know, comment a little something. See you guys next time. Mwah.